Hey YouTube, how art thou? I hope thou art good. Today, let's talk about a city. A city that apparently calls themselves the Baltimoreans. Who, isn't that crazy? Like, who would even answer to such a name? Of course, I'm talking about Baltimore, Maryland. From a small town that traded crops to a city that now rivals Philadelphia, Boston, and New York, established in 1752. This city in Baltimore, it's pretty interesting. There's a bunch of reasons to move here, and I did a video on that. But with that being said, there's also a bunch of reasons not to move here. So if you're thinking about visiting Baltimore or you're thinking about moving here, watch my top 10 reasons not to move to Baltimore, Maryland. Number 10, vacant homes. Now, Baltimore has a fair amount of bandos. That's slang for abandoned buildings. And Washington Post quotes almost 17,000 abandoned buildings blighting the city streets. And for every one knocked down or fixed up, a new one appears somewhere else. And apparently, some program turns vacant houses into homes for the homeless. But I didn't really read the full article on that. It's something you definitely should look into because it sounds pretty interesting. And that is another thing that I got from the Washington Post. Number 9, pests. And stay tuned to the end for some Baltimore trivia. Now, the Baltimore Sun says, calls for rats in Baltimore homes have doubled during the coronavirus pandemic. Then it goes on to say, Baltimore exterminators say the city's rats have moved from restaurants to homes. Yeah. I have a list for the top reasons to move to Baltimore, and food almost didn't make it for this reason. Just knowing that rats are in these restaurants, some of them, that's nasty. And I know all restaurants don't have rats. ... Hopefully. Number 8, weather. Yeah, apparently they have like a variety of weather here. I got this from Quora. It says, the weather reflects this. We have it off on tropical heat and humidity to bone-busting cold and snow, with hurricanes and thunderstorms thrown in. And apparently you risk hurricanes every season. Hurricane Agnes in 1972 killed 19 people. I'm from the north. I'm from Buffalo. I'm used to cold snow, but the rest of that stuff, hurricanes, not used to. Number 7, look of homes. Now, this is actually just a personal thing to me. I'm just not really a fan of the look of the homes. Everything is just bunched together. That's just not my thing. Number 6, drivers. According to the insurance company Allstate, drivers in Baltimore are 140.6% more likely to make an insurance claim than the average driver. While the average American makes an insurance claim every 10 years, in Baltimore, the average is every 4.2 years. So that driving in Baltimore, it can be kind of fast-paced at times, and if you don't know how to drive, this probably would not be the place that you want to drive. Number 5, crowded. Now, this is just another thing from my personal point of view. It may be crowded here for some people. You got a population of around 620,000, and yeah, that may be kind of crowded for some people. Number 4, poverty. Baltimore's poverty level is at 23.1% compared to Maryland's 9.9%, and the unemployment rate is 7% compared to Maryland's 4.5%. Now, there's a good amount of homeless people, but the one thing that's interesting about these homeless people, from my experience, they work. They're not just begging for stuff. Always. Anyway, trivia time! Which abolitionists spent their early years in Baltimore where they learned how to read and write? A, Frederick Douglass. B, Harriet Stowe. C, Sojourner Truth. Or D, Harriet Tubman. And if you guessed A, Frederick Douglass, you are Correct. Yeah, apparently Frederick Douglass escaped to freedom while impersonating a sailor, and the rest is history. 3. Transportation system. Now, Baltimore doesn't have the worst transportation system, but in 2015, Baltimore's system was given a D rating by the Central Maryland Transportation Alliance. That score included an F in the quote-unquote disconnected communities category, which reflect the number of lower-income people who endure extremely long public transit commutes to reach jobs, writes the Baltimore Sun. So yeah, that's one thing that you may want to keep in mind. Now, so the public transportation system is rated at around a D, and this may not be the ideal place to have a car, so that's something to keep in mind. Number 2, schools. Now, Area Vibes rated the schools here as an F, which is NG, no good. I read on the vlog, someone said, I hope you enjoy your stay here and don't have kids that have to go to public school K through 12. Enough said, be safe. I think it was an older gentleman. You gotta love older people. But yeah, keep the schooling system in mind here. Number 1, crime. Now, Area Vibe rates the crime here as an F. There is 145% more crime than the nation's average. The crimes range from murder, rape, robbery, assault, violent crimes, burglary, theft, vehicle crime, property crime, and there are 6,329 crimes out of every 100,000 people in Baltimore. Now, this is I guess an obvious one if you know what surrounds Baltimore, but somebody quotes, you'll know when you're in a neglected part of town when you cross the street and houses are boarded up and there are no cars around. Baltimore gets a bad rep for crime, so that is something you want to keep in mind. Yeah, and that is the list. There you guys have it. 10 reasons not to move to Baltimore. You know, the list is not in any specific order. Thanks for staying till the end. Make sure you like the video, subscribe, comment, ... If you want. You don't have to. I prefer it, but you don't have to. But overall, Baltimore, it can be an enjoyable place. You just gotta watch where you go, watch the area and whatnot, and you know, you could actually have fun here. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Until next time, I wish you guys nothing but the best.